Welcome back, viewers, to the second part of Monday Blitz. And as earlier stated, we are having a guest on the show. Welcome, Willis, to the show. Willis is from Association of Gaming Operators Kenya. This basically is the regulator, if I refer them to that. But for us to know more, I'd like to have the first question. Willis, tell us more about AGOK. We've just been hearing. Unpack and tell us so that we can understand what AGOK is all about.
So, asante sana, Papa Rocho, for having me. My name is Willis Ojwang. The other hat I wear is AGOK. So, I'm part of the media steering committee. AGOK basically is that umbrella body where all the operators belong. So operators, for our viewers, basically mean the betting companies. Not just betting, but it's online gaming. Not just online alone, but also at a wale when you are land-based. Gaming, of course, iko a long history. Kuna wale when you are kwa mtandao, but kuna wale you walk into their premises and you're able to place your bets and all. So AGOK is the umbrella body, and you may encompass all these operators and just pull them together, so that together they're able to steer the industry and the general direction that even the regulator, who is the gambling regulatory authority, means, and also is just able to move our agenda forward. So hiyo ndio ile familia kubwa where all these operators belong, and it's the association that is able to drive the vision, even the mandate, in terms of part of the responsibilities that all the gamers should be having.
Well, thank you for helping us understand, because initially many thought that AGOK was the regulator. Yeah. But now you've told us that AGOK brings together the various players in the industry. We've been talking about responsible gaming. Why should this be a conversation for the nation?
Okay. I think responsible gaming it's not long overdue. It's something that has been there with us. The only thing is, AGOK is now coming front in terms of to champion this message, and is able to lead all the regulators towards the desired direction. So responsible gaming is, ukiangalia, acha nitumie lugha mta, betting. So betting has always been there for years and years and years. But now it's now being embraced a lot more in Kenya in the past 10 or so years. But then why we say responsible is people need to do it in a responsible way. People need to do it in a controlled manner. That's why AGOK pia imekuwa ikirun campaign inajiita chukua control. So it's just to enlighten the consumers, it's to enlighten the customers, to just give them a guide in terms of what are the do's and the don'ts when it comes to gaming. Just like any other industry that have that messaging about doing things responsibly. It's the same way now AGOK is now leading its members to just preach this gospel, basically to enlighten wale consumers wow. And there are in hundreds and hundreds of thousands of them, and they do it anyway. So we are telling them that while the other messaging would be construed to mean stop doing it, we're telling them that yes, while you can not stop doing it, but you can do it in a responsible way. So basically a number of measures that have been put across the industry, and AGOK has been very categorical in just bringing its members. The beauty of AGOK is ikona wale registered members. Okay. So whenever we see some misleading messages, some people that do it irresponsibly, then probably those are members who do not fall within the entire umbrella of AGOK.
So there are certain gaming industries that are not within the organization. So for us to understand, tell us currently the members are within AGOK.
So the members within AGOK wako wengi. Actually, we are about 50 of the members.
Wow.
Yeah, so all I don't want to say the big ones, but all the major ones that we would, if we asked our stakeholders or even our viewers today, the ones that they can mention from your Betika, SportPesa, tuko na Mozart Bet, tuko na ODibet, tuko na Shabiki, and tuko na the land-based casinos and all that. So wako wengi sana. So there are 50 in number. You can head to our website, we can see them. But basically, the major industry players, all of them are able to become members fully, not just registered, but fully participating members of the association. So that's why through the members, they're able to champion a number of strategies, also by the regulator or even by the gamers and the online gaming companies themselves have put in place to ensure that our customers are actually responsible. And the message has been Chukua Control. Chukua Control basically telling us that you can actually set your limits. You can be in charge of how much of gaming activity or how much of betting do you actually indulge in. And si usema, it's actually an entertainment. It needs to be done, it needs to be viewed and embraced as entertainment and not a full-time job. Okay. Where someone ameamka kazi yake tu ni betting. No. It's telling them that you need to take control, be able to set limits, be able to just take charge in terms of how much do you indulge, how much do you not go overboard while still maintaining all your major businesses as well.
Now, talking about the regulators, I'd like to get to know the relationship you are having between you as an organization and the regulators. Why do I ask this? Just the other day, influencers were stopped from perhaps getting into gaming. What is your relationship with the regulator? And please shed some more light on how best the influencers can come back into the game.
Okay. So I think it's a very key concern that has hit our doorstep, and there's a beautiful work in progress that is being made. So breaking it down, so we have the Gaming Regulatory Authority, which was formerly the Betting Control and Licensing Board. So this is an arm of the government. So they're the ones who issue licenses. Okay. And we are very happy because they've been able to work closely with the members to ensure full compliance. So the Gaming Regulatory Authority issues licenses, and then there exists the association. So the association and the gaming, the GRA are able to work very closely in terms of just setting even the guidelines that members have to abide by. So it's a very cordial working relationship. However, the reason why AGOK is really coming out in the front line is because the the GRA does not put a bullet on the heads of operators that you have to belong to the association. However, they're just saying it is a plus and it is not mandatory, but it's a need to have and to belong to an association. So GRA and AGOK really work closely in terms of just monitoring the activities of their members. They have to, now association has to ensure that their members also just enlighten the customers and even their audiences in terms of what are the do's and the don'ts. Now, boiling down to the influencers, remember there was, I think, a directive in terms of advertising guidelines. Yes. It wasn't just influencers alone. There were guidelines that were put in place in terms of how can the operators just come in to also advertise their businesses. And it wasn't just influencers that were influenced, even mainstream TV, radio, some of the billboards. Nowadays you can't do static billboards. But just narrowing down to influencers, I remember some of these leading companies that I've mentioned had a number of influencers that were working together with them. And the decision was a bit controversial, so to speak, but we honored and we accepted it. However, we went back to the operators and even to the regulator, just to tell them that just like any other businesses, these are people who've been onboarded, and these are people who've been, some of them not on full-time, but even on part-time, are onboarded with the businesses, also just to advance their marketing campaigns. And influencers is not a new thing. It's basically just someone giving a referral and speaking on behalf of your business. So what we can assure is there's work in progress. The beauty is all the operators really had good working relationship with their influencers. So they also didn't feel dumped in a way. So we once in a while engage them, especially for events that do not necessarily push advertising. So just like any other business would say, an influencer, come to our event or so, because we want to advance some of these events. And the beauty is some of these events, Pia, they're the ones that are skewed to CSR. The gaming operators, I think I can proudly say, they lead the pack in terms of the corporates locally that invest a lot in social responsibility. So I think to our influencers, it's not, the train has not left the station. It's not all matters doom and gloom. But I think in the next set of guidelines, which will be released afterwards, we really hope that the operator and the regulator will give us some leeway, of course, to work with influencers and even to publish and to enhance the message of responsible gaming. So because we know there are influential people in the society, there are people who have following, and even matters preaching the gospel of responsible gaming.
Yes, that's what I was doing.
Yes.
Sorry to cut you short. Sorry to cut you short. I've been feeling that other than just talking about the individual brands, the influencers can also influence responsible gaming. And I don't know if the organization is thinking of perhaps bringing some influencers to even do your work. And the other question is, do you people, as an organization, go out there, perhaps in the market or in various towns to talk more? Because now this conversation we're having here, our viewers are getting to know what's happening. But I feel that you also need to go down there and interact on a one-on-one with the main guys down there.
Main guys, yeah. So it's work in progress. Remember, as the association, we had a roadmap. And our roadmap was very clear. We said we are going to go down to the grassroots and down to the customers to just elevate this message of responsible gaming. So what we did first, of course, we reached out to the mainstream media stations, running campaigns with them. That started sometime November, December of 2025. But the next phase of activities in terms of pushing the Chukua control messaging is going to go down, of course, through the influencers way. So we should be reaching out to some of the influencers to identify how can we use some of their platforms to also elevate this messaging. Whenever we have events, even the individual members, even the football matches and all, we have banners just pushing the responsible gaming messaging. And even while we do go to the mashinani, what we call mashinani, we should also be onboarding some of the people who have loyal following and who have a solid audience to just elevate this messaging through, be it roadshows, be it exhibitions, workshops, and conferences. But also the important people that doing even the tournaments. Remember, tournaments are big, even outside Nairobi. That's why you find your border people, your Mjengo people, and all that when they come together. We also want to seed this messaging of responsible gaming. So it's a whole 360 degrees approach that we should be seeing its impact. And in the next couple of months, what was perceived as a menace that was coming out of betting, I think we steer clear on that as well.
Now, let's move on to giving back, because this is an industry that colossal amount of money is involved. I'd like you to tell us more about not the individual entities going for their CSR or giving back, but as an organization, are you in any way planning to have ventures where you go and give back as a team?
So as an organization, of course, you said the individual members are doing big in terms of just growing the sports and even its development in the country across multiple disciplines, from football, rugby, volleyball, athletics, and all that. So the individual members are already doing big in terms of the impact, in terms of giving back and social responsibility. However, the association is not left behind. Whenever individual members go and do some CSR activities, the association is normally tagged along, and there's also an investment that they make towards ensuring that we give back to the society. So as an organization, yes, when we started the Chukua control campaign, in the lead up to that, I remember we had a CSR activity in South B. We were able to bring people together, communities that were in need and all that. We were able to support them. But apart from that, we were also just able to elevate that messaging and enlighten people in terms of taking control. So in terms of responsibility initiatives, yes, the association is also going to take a lead on that, apart from what the individual members are doing. And we really commend our members. They're really leading the way and ensuring that we actually give back. Apart from just being a requirement by the authority, they're also taking just individual steps to ensure that they invest a lot to the communities. And most of them, of course, are skewed to sports. But there are also other initiatives outside of sports, things such as water, education, agribusiness, entrepreneurship, health, which is really key. So there's a significant investment by both the association and even the individual members.
Chukua Control, I'd like you to tell me more about Chukua Control, because it touches me, it means a lot to me as a person. when you talk to me and try to convince me on how I'm going to place my bet. Okay. And basically the positives that comes with me when I chukua control. Okay. Shed more light on this initiative.
So chukua control is literally like just the literal meaning. Stay in the driver's seat. So it's only the driver that normally knows when to pedal, knows when to brakes and all. So chukua control to us, we've broken it down in a very simple way that is relatable to our consumers and our customers. Basically, we're telling them that number one, you need to view gaming and betting as an entertainment. Remember,
first and foremost, sorry,
yes,
it should be an entertainment.
It should be an entertainment.
Okay.
It should
so
be
it should not be some sort of a way of me earning my life,
income. Exactly.
An income.
Yes, yes. It shouldn't be a full-time job.
Okay.
Where you wake up to eat and you wake up and that's where you head to.
Okay.
So it needs to be viewed as an entertainment.
Okay.
Not viewed, but it is an entertainment.
Okay.
The same way people go to entertainment joints, no one wakes up and goes to the entertainment joints. If it's music or dance or even the other entertainment ventures, it doesn't need to be a full-time. Secondly, we are telling people know when to stop. Know when to say no.
Know when to stop.
Yes. Know when to say no. Basically, we know that, yes, gambling is addictive, yes, and gaming is addictive.
Yes.
In terms of from the psychological point, there are many other addictive things, and we know gaming for sure is addictive. However, we are saying that you can still tame it. Yeah, you can tame it both as an individual, but you can also reach out to the individual operators to just assist you in terms of how to tame it. So know when to say no, know when to not just pause. We have self-exclusion mechanisms that any individual customer is able to embrace and is able to take control of themselves. We're also telling people don't chase your losses. Yeah, you've lost, let's say,
don't chase your losses.
Yes.
What you mean, if I'm getting you right,
yeah,
let's assume I've placed a bet of, for example, 200 shillings.
Yes.
In any case, I lose. I should not chase because I feel like I should regain.
Yeah.
What do you mean I should not chase?
Yeah, so it's from chasing your losses that addiction begins to take place and begins to get engraved in you. Remember again, gaming is a game of chances. There is no prediction. Just a few minutes ago, you were talking about results from both the EPL and even the Sport Pesa League. We're just telling people, do not chase your losses. So where, let's say, a bet, it's a game of chances, where one bet has gone a certain direction, and then acting out of anger or even acting out of frustration, you decide to chase it. We're saying that shouldn't be the case. It's never predicted. You never know what the outcome would come. There might be trends, yes, of a big team and a small team, but we've seen instances of where it's not normally predicted. It depends solely on the outcome.
Some sporting merit.
Yes, some sporting merit,
yes,
exactly. So we're telling people it's never guaranteed, and no trend or no set of patterns can determine what the results are. So do not chase your losses. Secondly is we're telling people only bet when in the right state of mind, for instance.
What do you mean only bet? Is it in any way related to psychological issues? Because we've also heard of issues where it brings issues psychologically. No.
That's true. There are cases that it's brought out issues psychologically, but we're also telling people when you feel you're not in the right state of mind, that's not the time to go, let's say, placing your bets. So you could probably be unwell, you could probably be under the influence of A or B, or you could probably be frustrated.
Or even stressed.
Then you go end up investing your money, hoping for some quick returns. Someone could be in huge debt, for instance, and they resort to betting as the
So these are guys who should keep off placing bets.
Yes, ideally not keep off, but they need to tame themselves, determine whether they're in the right state of mind. And the beauty is people have friends, people have peers, people have loved ones that they can talk to about this. And in the individual companies, they have hotlines that operate 24 hours. And we've normally seen cases where people even place calls. And the moment the customer care people are trained to know when someone is not in the right shape of mind, they're able to guide them, they're able to advise them, and all that. Yeah. So the number of measures, including even self-exclusion, someone is able to go into a website and then just say that I don't want to continue placing this, or even they delete their accounts whatsoever. So that's basically the Chukua control. We're even telling people, even when you're at work, please stay off gaming. There's some work that demand your attention. They say you'll find a motorcyclist or something, and they have a customer, and that's the time they also want to place their bets. We're telling them that please stay off this until you are done with your business and you have a bit of free time, then you're able to place your bets and all. Yeah.
So basically, you're trying to encourage, if I'm getting you right, responsible betting, and you believe that betting should just be. Because personally, I believe betting should be, I should bet on what I have in excess. For example, I have some money, and I should not bet exactly, for example, on my rent.
Yeah.
What do you say about that?
So we normally say, and it's normally a very one solid, bold statement. Only bet what you can afford to lose.
What you can afford to lose.
Yes. So no one can afford to lose their rent, for instance. If I'm staying somewhere and I want to bet on my rent, then clearly I can't afford to lose my rent because the next day I won't have shelter.
You'll be out of your house.
You'll be out of your house. So I can't afford to lose my rent.
Okay.
If it's in terms of if I'm a student and I have to pay school fees to take on my exams or even to attend classes, it means I can't afford to lose my school fees. So the message is clear, don't bet using your school fees. If, for instance, money that was meant for my meals, if I was to have lunch today, because I have to have energy to keep about my business. And then I can say I can't afford to bet on my lunch because I can't afford to lose it. So the message is clear, yes. Only bet what you can afford to lose. And we normally guide people in terms of financial planning. Of course, there are financial literacy sessions that even the individual operators have. And not just that, even whenever we have winners, because at the times when we have big winners.
Yeah, was my next question.
Yeah.
How do you have time with winners, or to try and help them, give them some knowledge on how they're going to spend?
We have, especially most operators, the ones I was listing earlier. These ones normally have provisions for financial literacy sessions with the winners. But we're also cognizant of the fact that we can't really guide outright someone in terms of how to spend their money.
Yes.
There are unfortunate incidences where people have won, but all that money in millions have gone down the drain. But we also have very beautiful stories of people who've won and wamejijenga kimaisha. People who've impacted their communities, they're sponsoring people, they're doing a lot of responsible people, they've opened businesses and they're able to employ people. We also guide them on that. So in terms of financial literacy, that's also taking control in terms of what do you do with your wins. And we have banks and financial institutions that we're able to link our customers with whenever they have winnings or whenever someone feels that their financial planning is going off.
So you can go out of your way. Yes. Other than the literacy, you can even connect them with, as you've said, banking institutions.
Yes, banking institutions and even financial advisors and planners. So that happens, and that's the beauty that AGOK brings. Is because courtesy of AGOK, then they're also able to tame, not just tame, but they're also able to guide their individual members. That, by the way, in terms of financial literacy and all, you're also able to guide your customers. You're able to have initiatives, you're able to have training sessions where you get to guide them in terms of what's the best financial planning. And just like you're saying, after probably you've budgeted for your income, monthly income or even weekly income, then you're able to say, okay, I have this much of allocation and I love team A or B, let me place a bet on them as a way of being entertained, and probably you could get something out of it. And we see winners week in, week out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like you to, I don't know, this camera, I need you to give a message to Kenyans just before we wrap up. I think this is the camera. Talk to Kenyans and also the guys who like placing their bets, and perhaps just give them an advice before we wind up.
So to all viewers, thank you so much. To all the Kenyans, thank you, Sana. The message is loud and clear from AGOK, that is the Association of Gaming Operators of Kenya. We know people love sports. We know people are diehards of be it local teams or even the teams outside the country playing the EPL, UCL and all other leagues. So the message to us is clear. Betting needs to be fun. It needs to be interesting. It needs to be exciting. But we're also telling you that it's only you who is in the driver's seat. It's only you who can take control, take charge of how much you indulge, and do not go beyond the limits. The message has always been clear. Only bet on what you can afford to lose. So yeah, that's the Chukua Control messaging from AGOK. And you can always reach out to us in our social media pages, across Facebook, Twitter, even Instagram, plus even our website. In case you're facing any challenges, reach out to us. We'll be able to respond to you. Thank you so much.
Do you have any telephone numbers that perhaps, other than the social media, do we have how somebody who is just watching the show can communicate to you?
Yeah.
Because at times we need that instant feedback.
Yeah, so we have telephone numbers and they're broken down into two. We have telephone numbers that are active 24 hours with the operators, but should you also feel you want to reach out to the association, the number is 080-072-3770. Again, I'll say it, 080-072-3770. So yeah, you can reach out to us, but we normally say today the world has become a global village. Reach out to us on social media. If you don't have airtime and all, reach out to social media and we'll be able to respond to you in real time. Thank you so much.
There you've had it. Betting is fun. Betting should be fun. And as Willis has put it, we need to just make sure that we bet responsibly. Thank you once again, Willis, for your time and for the insight that you've given us. And for the viewer for watching Monday Blitz, we've had a very entertaining Monday Blitz today, from what happened in the league in Kenya, what happened in Europe, and of course, to crown it all, we had our guest from Association of Gaming Operators Kenya. Now, from me, Fred Arocho and the team, I can see Dan Ko and the Arsenal team and the guys who lost over the weekend wananiangalia. Enjoy your week.